Hello and welcome to the Ugly Couch Show with Michael Hurd and Stephanie Hurd, talking about ADHD and relationships and whatever else we feel like.
You don't remember what we were talking about? We talked about some of it last time we were on the ADHD Hubby Wifey Ugly Couch thingy show.
Yes, stages of grief and stages of ADHD, if I recall correctly.
Stages of grief in ADHD.
Okay.
Like diagnosis wise.
Is this like stages of grief in high definition?
No. But that would be interesting. I'm talking stages of grief when learning you have ADHD.
Okay.
That's an important thingy, isn't it?
Alright, and brief recap of last time.
Denial. He
Okay.
said it was a Nile in Egypt. But we meant denial that you actually have the disorder to begin with. It's a coping mechanism.
Alright.
Right?
It is a coping mechanism, and so definitely denial. I don't have ADHD, and so forth. If you haven't, check out our previous podcast, just letting you know. Stage 1 was denial. Now we're moving on to stage 2, which is
Anger.
grrr.
Arg. I don't know what's with the finger thing, but I've tried it before. It seems to work. So denial wears down, and the pain of the diagnosis appears. Can you imagine being diagnosed?
I suppose it's like, to me, you get diagnosed, oh, you got strep throat, or oh, you got the flu, or oh, you got your arm chopped off.
Yeah, but you don't deny those. It's like, yeah, my throat hurts. Give me drugs. Versus ADHD, not everybody thinks they need the drugs, or they don't like the drugs, or the drugs don't work for them. But once you get the diagnosis, it's really, really difficult, isn't it? Well, I guess you don't know. You've never gotten a diagnosis. But when I first got the diagnosis when I was a little kid, my dad just kept saying stuff like, oh, it's made up, it's blah, 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 blah. Every teacher says every student has it. They're handing out Ritalin like they're handing out gumballs in a candy machine. That kind of thing. You wish. So anyway, so the denial's wearing down. So all of a sudden, you realize, I've had this disorder, this issue with me. I finally have a way to explain it. The reality is setting in. But guess what? We're not ready. Why do you think that we're not ready to necessarily accept it?
Well, I guess there's two takes. Definitely some of the people I've interviewed have stated the day of diagnosis should be a happy day in figuring out, oh, that's what was wrong, or this explains so much in my life. But I guess with stage 2 anger, this explains so much of my life and why it's all messed up because I didn't get diagnosed and I didn't get the ADHD help when I should have, and now my life's messed up now, and maybe it's too late, or and now I'm different, and so all these other things.
I like your answer. So we're vulnerable. We now know we have ADHD. But because we're vulnerable, we want to shield ourselves. Keep people from finding out we're vulnerable. Because it's like, I have ADHD, but now what? What do I do? What do I say? What do I work on? What do I do first? You can't quite figure it out, and you're still sort of in your state of shock. So you get angry.
Yes, we don't like an angry wife.
So, who do we direct our anger at?
Well, depending on, and I guess I'm assuming it's adults diagnosed with ADHD type of thing.
We're doing adults because kids get...
Yeah. Alright, so you get angry, well, there's yourself, then there's your parents, your teachers, all those people who should have helped you way back when to better handle this ADHD. Now, high definition. And
Your high definition today.
oh,
Oh, he's turning pink.
that's just that kind.
Lies.
So you get angry at those people, and you're probably have a job or something like that, and you're trying to figure out, okay, do I bring this up at work, or are they going to treat me badly? Am I going to get fired because of this?
That's bargaining.
That's bargaining.
That's
Oh,
later.
that's later. I'm skipping ahead stages. I'm a keener.
Darn keeners. Okay, so you can imagine your anger doesn't only get directed at your family, though, does it? When you're angry.
I don't know. I've seen you and your brothers get very angry at each other.
You can also get angry at random strangers, like, oh, look at this perfect person and their perfect life. Screw them, these stupid perfect people. These perfect people are perfectly good with no ADHD and can organize and this and that, and they get really, angry. Or you get more angry at objects. You just get angry in general. Like, for me, I sort of blame my parents for how they treated me.
Okay.
Because, for instance, I'd get in trouble from my dad for not treating me the nicest when I couldn't clean something, or not treating me the nicest when I couldn't focus on something he deemed important, but I couldn't concentrate on it. But yeah, and like my husband said, we see what could have been if we found out earlier. We resent ourselves for being who we are. And then what's worse is we feel guilty for being angry, which makes us more angry. That's silly, isn't it?
It's a vicious cycle. I'm angry because I'm angry because I'm angry because I'm angry because I'm angry.
Yeah. It is a vicious cycle, isn't it? So, anger turns into guilt. We could have done something to make people find out earlier. But, guess what, folks? Anger is a natural response. Isn't it, dear? Like, it is happy to get diagnosed ADHD, but there are things that you're going to get angry about. You know what I mean, Jellybean?
Yeah.
Anger is a way of saying, I don't like this. Why is that important?
It's good to know what you like and what you don't like. And so just going with, okay, I like this. I like knowing what's going on. I like what this medication is doing, say, or I like that, and I don't like when my life's a mess, or I don't like when I can't find my car keys, that type of thing.
Car keys. Okay. So anger motivates us to change and restore balance into our life and take charge. Why is it important? I have to flip the page.
Okay. I'm just thinking of the Yoda quote. Sense much fear in you. Fear leads to anger. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering.
But it can also lead to change.
Yep.
And make you take charge. It's not all about suffering. It depends how you deal with your anger, but we'll get onto that in a minute. He's still being a keynote. I ask him one question, and he moves on to a totally new subject. Sometimes I wonder if he's the ADHD. So anyway, what was I saying? Oh yes,
Point
anger.
proven.
Anger leads us to take charge. Do you think that's true?
Well, you are the one with the notebook not letting me take a peek, so I'm taking charge that way. And she gets very angry if I do take a peek. But definitely, when we get angry at something, it shows there's some emotional attachment, and we're not satisfied. We don't like what's going on, whether we don't like ourselves, or we don't like the situation, we don't like how our home is, or how school is, how work is. Something's wrong. We don't like it, and because it's our soul responding and saying, hey, fighting back, hey, something's wrong here. Maybe we should change it.
So there's two reasons why people get really angry. One, a violation of your expectations, or two, a blockage of your goals. So when we're diagnosed, it's sort of...
Like the dimming of a computer.
Yes. So when we have when we're diagnosed, our expectations are violated. We want some magic way to fix us.
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
We want a way to magically change our entire life and say, hey, now I can be the world's version of normal. There is no real normal. Number two, we're realizing all the blocked goals we had because we weren't diagnosed earlier. Or the things that have gone wrong, or the patience we didn't have, or the focus we didn't have, or the almost getting fired, and blah, 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 blah. So, what do we have to do, dear?
Bibbidi bobbidi boo.
That works in Cinderella. But we got to work through our anger.
Yeah.
Why is that important? Why can't we just stay angry?
Well, it takes a lot of anger, and anger takes a lot of emotional energy out of us, and so generally you feel very drained afterwards. It's very much a high-consuming stage to stay angry, and so you generally pass out. So you can't stay angry forever. Nature's going to take its course, and you're going to pass out from it. But, so that's one thing. And two, yeah, fine, when you're angry you can throw that punch. But these days, 21st century, throwing a punch, unless I guess you're Batman or Iron Man or something, it's not going to solve the problem.
I like that. So, how do we work through our anger? Number one, correct the wrongdoing or show behavior is not appropriate. What do you think that means?
Well, I guess this goes back to finding out what is triggering your anger. Is it because someone's being unfair to you? Or is it because someone caught you being unfair to them? Or something else? So finding out, hey, what's the source of this anger?
But why can't you just leave it alone? Why can't you just stay angry? Wouldn't solve anything.
Oh yeah, and plus you'd be slipping back into stage 1 denial.
Anyway, so by correcting what happened that was wrong done to you, or you assumed was wrong done to you, you're taking charge, thus releasing the anger, thus allowing anger to fulfill its purpose.
Yeah, because anger is nothing inherently wrong or right in it. It's just human emotion. We get angry, sometimes grit our teeth. It's a matter of managing it. Definitely keep those punches. Fine if you're alone, feel free to punch something that's not going to break on you, or that you don't mind getting broken. Just find safe outlets for your anger in a socially pleasing way, I suppose.
Okay.
But, and then just saying, okay, this triggered my anger. This is what I'm angry about and what should be a catalyst for change. And don't let it keep coming up. If you notice, gee, I always get angry at this trigger here. Oh, so let's find out what the trigger is. So I always get angry when I trip over the shoes coming into the house. What could it be? Well, maybe if I moved the shoes to another place where I wouldn't be tripping on them, I wouldn't be getting angry over tripping on shoes. So thus, the anger has been a catalyst for change. And we have changed something, not getting angry, and are living a happier life.
All over shoes?
Shoes are an important thing. You're a girl, after all.
Yes, you wear shoes. But anyway, number two. You want to maintain relationships. So, yeah, addressing the people or addressing your ADHD that's ticking you off is probably the best way to go. Like addressing the people that didn't understand. It can work and it can blow up in your face. Am I right?
Yeah. Because again, you only have real control over yourself. But definitely, we live in a world with other people. But just manage your reactions to them. Communicate. But then don't take it
over-communicate.
Don't over-communicate.
I can have ADHD. I'm sorry. Oops, I missed our appointment. Oh, that appointment again. Darn, I missed it this week too because I have ADHD. Or be smart and write it in a calendar.
Yep. Yeah, missing appointments could be another reason to get angry and make it a catalyst for change.
Why do you keep using catalyst?
I don't know, it's a cool word.
Tell our viewers what it means in case they haven't looked it up.
Remember back in chemistry class or science class, and you had two chemicals, and one acted as a catalyst to make something burn or blow up or cause a change.
Oh, like coagulation.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, moving back to where we were. Next off, figure out a plan to make sure that you don't get angry by these things. That's a good idea. What do you think?
Catalyst for change.
Oh dear. This is not a recording. So, why do you think it's a good idea to figure out a plan? He loves plans.
I love it when a plan comes together.
Okay. Why is it important?
Well, living in an angry situation is very draining to your soul, body, and just not a good way to live.
So why is a plan important?
It gets you out of that.
So, how would you formulate a plan? You were talking the shoe thing. So, shoes are all over the house. They're in the bathroom, they're in the living room, they're in the bedroom, they're everywhere. So what do? Let's say this is me. Not that I do this all the time, but I do it with clothes. But let's go back to the shoes. What would you do to plan an attack of action to not leave the shoes all over the house?
Well, so stepping back just one step, we've discovered the trigger is the shoes are all over the place.
I'm tripping on them.
Causing chaos and causing anger.
Anger.
Well, one would be, okay, so the shoes are in places that cause me anger. I should try and find a place for these shoes that don't give me anger. Because obviously, you can't just get rid of the shoes, even though in an angry fit you might just take them, rip them up, throw them in the garbage. Guess what? You need shoes to go to work, go outside. It's cold and pricklies on the ground and stuff like that. So you're going to need to deal with your shoes, and they may not even be your shoes and type of thing. So everyone needs shoes. So we do like going barefoot, but let's find a place for these shoes. Perhaps a closet that's off the side, or a little shoe rack. Well, so decide, okay, where is going to be a good place for the shoes? If there is not a place for the shoes, let us decide and make an executive action for those shoes.
Excellent. I like that. Next.
Use the anger energy as fuel to do it.
Alright, so next off, bring in a third party. Sometimes you need help to deal with the anger of your diagnosis. Is that true?
Yes. Sometimes it's hard to be objective because we're putting all this subjective, personalized meaning, oh, catastrophe, oh, woe's me, oh, this is the end of the world, when in reality, oh, you just stubbed your toe, is that it?
Yeah, sometimes you just need to see where you're at. And I mean, once you're over denial, you're angry enough to go and figure something out, bringing in a third party is a great idea because they can help you see perspective that you never saw before.
Yeah, because they can see from the outside, acting like a mirror, so that you can get that little piece of parsley out of your teeth that you can't possibly see.
I did not have parsley in my teeth, it was seaweed.
Okay.
Seaweed. So anyway, another thing you can do is meditate. Meditation comes up a lot, but it's very, very relaxing. Meditation can help you work through your feelings of anger. You meditate for, they I say about at least 20 minutes a day, which isn't bad.
Which we don't do yet.
Hey, we're working on it. We meditated yesterday for 35.
Congratulations. And remember, there's not just one way to meditate. Find a way that works for you.
I do guided because my brains go, oh, pretty squirrel at my head. So that, when I have his voice going, breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, I can handle it.
And that's one, and that's stationary. There's also walking. It's just doing something that just makes you a little bit more, relaxes you, and makes you a bit aware of the thoughts behind your thoughts.
All right. Now this next thing.
Or the anger behind your thoughts.
Thoughts behind anger and thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. So next thing is the things to avoid in anger. These are what I call the dangers. The danger zones. The zones you don't want to enter. What are you seeing?
Top Gun soundtrack.
Okay. So anyway, the first one is taking your anger and shoving it all the way down. Why is that bad?
Well, I'm sure most ADHDers have experience with a box or suitcase that they've wanted to stuff full as possible.
I broke my suitcase.
And it explodes out.
Boom! I broke it. I broke the seam. But what happens? Depression! Why? Why are we getting depressed?
Because our body is communicating with us. Listen to the body. Like, it uses anger. It uses depression. It uses happiness. And all sorts of things to help communicate, hey, what's up?
We don't like the depression, though, do we?
Nope.
The next one to avoid is anger out. Like, all out. Like, rage out. Like, you're lashing out at everyone, everything, and you're out of control.
And this is just isn't on your period.
I have my period once in a while. So, okay, anyway. Why is that a bad plan?
Well, one, it has consequences. People have to live with you, people have to deal with it, and people suddenly see you lashing out and being crazy angry person.
Stupid work, stupid kids, stupid people, stupid everybody.
And they're like going, okay, I'm going to steer clear of this person, and this person doesn't have a handle on their life.
And they make everyone else miserable.
Yeah.
So a balance. Balance is good. Avoid those two things, and your life will be more in balance. It's okay to hold some anger, like, not hold it in, to reflect.
And while you reflect and as you work on mastering anger through the many tools available, feel free to find healthy outlets for it. Don't rely too much on it. It can become dependent or an addiction, but if playing a video game helps or going out to the gym.
Mostly the gym stuff. Gym is important. Exercise, they say, improves your brain.
Yep, exercise improves your brain.
Darn it.
Go for a walk. Like, definitely.
Read.
But when you sense the anger coming on, do your best to find a way to make an exit, stage right or stage left, and take that little break just to get everything sorted out in your mind so that, anger isn't going to ruin your day.
I like that. I think that's a really good conclusion. So, I'm Stephanie.
I'm Michael.
We're married.
Yep.
Rings.
I forgot mine in the other room.
Ah!
I was doing dishes. Cleaning stuff.
Alright, he's forgiven for doing dishes. But anyway, I have ADHD. He's, for some reason, inheriting my ADHD sometimes. And we're married and we're happy to talk about anger.
Yeah.
Join us next time for the next stage.
Bargaining. And we're bargaining with you as we work on our blog and newsletter. Stay tuned and leave your comments on how you deal with the anger.
We want to know.